Hey, what's up, my little TisaTells? Listen, really sad news. The legend, the icon, the woman, Tina Turner, has passed. She was magnetic, she was explosive, and she passed away at the tender age of 83. Now, listen, this is actually really sad news because if you guys watch Tina Turner's biography, it was like a documentary. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. I'll tell you one thing, it is heartbreaking and sad because she still talks about what that monster Ike Turner did to her. To this day, left her with PTSD. But Tina Turner is a story of triumph. She exceeded every expectation. She was in a situation that is expected to break many, that has broken many. And through her sheer determination, through her sheer luck, and through her sheer centering and finding Buddhism, she found a way to find her true self and to transcend, at least physically, every limitation put in front of her. She is a legend. Let's get into the life of a legend. She was hailed in the 1960s for her dynamic performances in a husband-wife duo. She became a sensation as a recording artist, often echoing her personal struggles in songs. More than that, she broke boundaries. Not just the first, well, I don't want to say first, but one of the biggest crossover mainstream acts that stayed true to her roots and who she was. But she also broke boundaries in the way that she was still at her age, touring and giving the girlies what they needed. Yes, rock and roll is ripe with sexism, and Tina Turner defied that by proving that she still was an act and a draw and still gathering amazing crowds and doing that without compromising who she was as a person. You guys, Tina Turner, they're saying the earth-shaking soul singer whose rasping vocals, sexual magnetism, and explosive energy made her an unforgettable live performer and one of the most successful recording artists of all time. She died at her home in Switzerland near Zurich. Her publicist, Bernard Doherty, announced a definite statement but did not provide the cause. She did have a stroke in recent years and was known to be struggling with kidney disease and other illnesses. She had a 50-year career in starting in the late 1950s while attending high school in East St. Louis, where she began singing with Ike Turner and his bands, the Kings of Rhythm. At first, she was only an occasional performer, but she soon became the group's star attraction. And as you know, she became Ike's wife. With her potent bluesy voice and her frantic energy style, she made a lasting impression. Baby, those legs, that face, the magnetism, she was and will remain a rock god, a rock and roll legend. Now listen, we all know that she got with Ike and Tina Turner Revue, and it became one of the premier touring soul acts in black venues in the so-called Chitlin circuit. After the Rolling Stones invited the group to open for them, that's right, Mick Jagger was one of Tina Turner's biggest supporters. But let me say, like Mick Jagger said, he wasn't doing anything more than seeing the amazing talent she was and saying, baby, you need to come on with us, okay? They first opened on the British tour in 1966 and then on the American tour in 1969. And listeners across all nationalities in both countries began paying attention. Tina insisting on adding rock songs by the Beatles and the Stones to her repertoire. She reached an enormous new audience, giving Ike and Tina Revue its first top 10 hit with her version of Proud Mary. Y'all remember that? People keep on running. You know what? We should have a Tina Turner watch party. Make sure y'all watch her documentary. But make sure you bring some tissue and make sure you watch What Love's Got to Do With It with Angela Bassett. Woo! There's a pale moon in the sky. Tina Turner was a legend. Anyway, right? Just watch if you don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Proud Mary won a Grammy Award in 1971 for the best R&B vocal performance by a group. They said in context of today's show business, Tina Turner must be the most sensational professional on stage. That was Ralph Gleason, the jazz and pop critic for the San Francisco Chronicle. This is what he wrote about her after he saw her perform in a Rolling Stones concert. She said, Tina comes on like a hurricane. She dances and twists and shakes and sings, and the impact is instant and total. But if the Ike and Tina review was a success, Ike and Tina's marriage was not. Ike was abusive. She escaped her marriage in her 30s. Her career almost ended. But her solo album, Private Dancer, released in 1984, literally catapulted her back to the spotlight. That's the thing. Life will come at you. Life will try to break you. Sometimes life does break you. Tina said it broke her, but she found a way. That God-given talent, that light that we all love to see, it wasn't going to be dimmed by anyone. Anyway, after Private Dancer, she was back on the map. She was working with younger songwriters and backed by a smooth synthesized sound that provided a lustrous wrapping of her raw, urgent vocals. That was some of her biggest hits. Better Be Good to Me, What's Love Got to Do with It? It was an innovative fusion of old-fashioned soul singing and new wave synth pop. The album was a landmark, not only in her career of the 45-year-old singer at that time. This is what the New York Times said. And you know the New York Times be dragging people, so it was honest. But they said it was a landmark not only in Tina's 45-year-old career. She had been recording since the late 1950s, but in an evolution of pop soul music. That's right, she shifted the culture, everyone's culture. Referring to its innovative fusion of old-fashioned soul singing and the new synth pop. The 1985 Grammy Awards couldn't look away. What's Love Got to Do with It won 3 awards for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, and also Better Be Good to Me won for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance. The album went on to sell 5 million copies and ignite a touring career that established Tina as a worldwide phenomenon. In 1988, she appeared before about almost 200,000 people in the Macarena Stadium in Rio de Janeiro, breaking the record for the largest paying audience for a solo artist. After her 24/7 tour in 2000 sold more than 100 million in tickets, the Guinness Book of World Records announced that she had sold more concert tickets than any other solo performer in history. Not bad, Miss Anna Mae, not bad. Now, if you guys are thinking about what her early life was, she was born Anna Mae Bullock on November 26, 1939 in Brownsville, Tennessee. That's outside of Memphis. She spent her earliest years on the Poindexter Farm in Nutbush, an unincorporated area nearby, where she sang in the choir for the Spring Hill Baptist Church. Her father, Floyd, known by his middle name Richard, worked as the farm's overseer, saying, "We were well-to-do farmers," and she had a difficult relationship. Her father had a difficult relationship with his wife, Zelma Bullock. Her parents left Anna, her older sister, Aline. God damn it. I can't believe that she's gone. Her parents left her older sister, Aline, with relatives when they went to work at the military installation in Knoxville during World War II, and the family reunited after the war. But Zelma left her husband a few years later, and Anna lived with her grandmother in Brownsville. Tina said she wanted to get up there and sing so bad, but that took an entire year for her to find her voice. This is when she was in high school. One night during the band's breaks, the drummer, Eugene Washington, handed her a microphone and began singing the B.B. King song, "You Know I Love You," which Ike had produced. She said when Ike heard me, he said, "My God," he couldn't believe that voice was coming out of this frail little body. In Ike's book, Taking My Name Back, The Confessions of Ike Turner, he said, "I'd be writing songs with Little Richard in mind, but I didn't have no Little Richard to sing them. So Tina was my Little Richard. Listen closely to Tina. And who do you hear? Little Richard singing in a female voice." Ike is and will continue to be the biggest hater of all time. God, I can't with this man. Anyway, right? In the words of Jay-Z, if you really put me on, put yourself on too. Tina rose to fame. Ike rose to nothingness. You guys, listen. Let's just talk about this. Tina was a force to be reckoned with, and I'm not going to keep sullying her memory by talking about that no good ninja Ike Turner. I will say that Tina's music endured. Tina endured. She was and will continue to be a trailblazer, and she will continue to be mixed. You guys, prayers up to Tina and her family. I know she has lost 2 sons in the span of maybe 5 years. She lived a life. She was here. And oh, what a time she had. And she brought joy to all of us. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.